Okay, so now we'll see about two-dimensional array, and already we have discussed what is two-dimensional array, how do you represent two-dimensional array. Before going further, multi-dimensional array, this is a very specific case where the data exists as array. What do you mean by array? Means the array will contain similar type of data type, okay, either in row wise or column wise. Okay, so we can consider row 1 as one array having 4 elements: a00, a01, a02, a03, and we can consider row 2 as an array of 4 elements which are of integer type: a10, a11, a12, and a13. Similarly, row 3 also we can consider as an array of 4 elements having index starting from 20, 21, and a22 and a23. If you see as a column wise, okay, so column 1 also is an array which is having 3 elements: a00, a10, a20, or column 2 is a01, a11, a21. Similarly, column 3 and column 4. Now, this is how we represent two-dimensional array as a matrix form. Okay, two-dimensional matrix format. Okay, row and column wise. Okay, so to better visualize, you can see how they are stored. So actually, you can consider row wise. So there will be 3 reference variable or 3 object created in the Java memory or JVM. So that will point or that will contain an array having such as x0, x1, and x2. Okay, so this will be an array which hold the reference variable or the reference object which points to another array. Okay, so these 3 are object: x0, x1, x2. This will contain another array: x00, x01, x02, x03 for x0, and similarly x1 and x2. Okay, so for time being, just don't bother about or worry about how they are structured or how they are presented in the memory. You just remember, at least for two-dimensional array, you can represent in a two-dimensional matrix format, and the index will be 2 square bracket. Okay. Now, okay, let us see. Now we'll go and try to you will try to so let us try to do one problem. So where do you use these two-dimensional arrays? Okay, so we have given one example: students roll number and mark example. So you need the students information. One is student roll number and marks. So how will you store in the memory or using array? Okay, so let us see. Student information. One is roll number, and another is marks. Okay, so how do you store? So I will store in this way. This is suppose the roll number 1001. Suppose total marks 100. Then 1002. We can store it 90. Or 1003. This is 80. Okay, so now how will you store this information? Okay, now I can do one thing. I will create an array A to store only roll number and another array to storage marks, braces, left braces, right braces. Suppose 1001 comma 1002. Similarly 1003 100 comma 90 comma 80. So this second array B will store the marks and A will store the roll number. Yes. Now we can process and we can assess. This way also you can do. In other format, what will you do? I will store as there will be 3 rows, 1, 2 and 3 and 2 column, C1, C2. Okay, so I will create a row 1 will contain 1001 comma 100 braces, then 1002 comma 90. This is a braces and this is another braces 1003 comma 80. Okay, so there is a braces, left braces, then these are small 2 items in each row. I can represent in this way also. Then end of braces, then semicolon. I can represent in 2-dimensional array. Okay, so my first index, so the roll number. Okay, and the second index will give me the value of marks. In this way also I can store. Okay, so this is a very precise way or compact way of storing this information or showing the information. This is also very good way of providing a good structure to store this multi-dimensional array. Suppose now let us make this a little bit complicated. Suppose there are 4 subjects. Suppose there are 2 subjects, maths 1 and maths 2. Okay, so now in my row column format I will simply add a column 3, then I can store this mark. Suppose this is 90, 80 and 100. Okay, the same student, this is the roll number, this is my marks for subject 1, this is mark for subject 2. Okay, so if I represent Shall I need to add any other information? Okay. So in terms of two-dimensional array, in my row I will store this roll number, max, subject 1, subject 2. Each row I can add this value. Okay. And the first bracket will give the row index and second bracket will be column index. Okay. Now instead of writing this, okay, if I will store in only since one dimensional array, so I need another array and I can store the value for max 2. Both way you can do, but is you can see if you are using two-dimensional array, okay, you can store this information or data in a more structured way. Now let us see this example, okay, in our Eclipse. Now we come to know why you need this or two-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array, two-dimensional array. Okay, so how can you store this? Let us give an example. We will do the same problem. Okay, two-dimensional example. Okay, so in this problem I want to store students information, age, roll number and their marks. For each subject. Now how can I store? Let us see. Now I will declare a two-dimensional array. This is our syntax. Closely look at this. Okay, and let us give this a is equal to. This is my where data will be stored. Okay, here each row will have, you can see the diagram, roll number 1190, 1190. So this is for the row 1. Okay, so now each row will be separated by comma. Suppose this is 80, this is 90, this is 100, and okay, fine. And this is roll number 2, this is roll number 3. Now you can see in this array, so you can see in an array, the first array, okay, so will contain row 0, A0. The first row will it is called as A0. This is one row. A0 contains what? A0 contains 3 information: roll number and mark subject 1 and subject 2. So how to get the roll number? I will say A0 0. This is the roll number. And what is the mark for subject 1? Marks 1 is equal to A0 A1. Okay, similarly for max 2 A0, A2. Okay, so similarly, the next row will be A1 and next row will be A3, A2. So total how many rows? 3 rows. So starting from 0, 1 and 2. So column, there are 3 columns, 0, 1 and 2. Okay. So each column, first column will hold the value for roll number, second column will max for max 1 and third column is max for subject 2. Okay. So I think this is okay. Now this way I have stored my student information. Now I want to know, now next question is, okay, I want to print the roll number, okay, and the corresponding marks. Now I want to print the roll number of each student and corresponding marks. I want to know what is the marks for student having roll number 1001. What is the mark for roll number 102 and 103. So now, since there is a repetition of this printing this information row wise, so I will use a loop statement. So first loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than, better give this is row. Row will start from 0, row less than 3, then row plus plus. Okay, so first loop it will store or it will fetch the row wise information. First row, this is my first row, this is my second row, and this is my third row. Okay, now inside the row, each row there are other array. There is single dimensional array or one dimensional array, and each array contains 3 information: roll number, mark 1 and mark 2. So for fetching this information also I need another loop. So I will use nested loop. For that reason I will use a nested loop. So this is my column information. I will start from 0, column less than 3 and column plus plus. Now are you getting? So why do you need a 2-dimensional to nested loop for accessing those elements? 2-dimensional array. First for loop is for accessing row. Okay, this row, the next row and next row, and for each row collecting this information we need another for loop. That index can be used as column. Okay, now you want to print what is the roll number. Okay, the roll number is A0. Okay. Okay, so before printing this statement, okay, let us print all the values. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll just use external println array of row and array of column. Okay, whenever I use the index value, now you can see print row column. And each row I use a new line. Okay, So I each row I will just print the column. Okay, let us try this one. And yes, so now for each row, okay, so it is printing a row and column plus space. So what is the row 1? So this is row 0, this is row 1, this is row 2. So for 0 it will go inside loop, and column, what is column 0 value? 1001. Column 1 value 100, then 90. Then after executing this for block, it will print a new line. It will go to new line and it will print the next row 102, 80, 90, and once again it will go to the next line and it will print 103, 90, and 100. So we will use 2 square bracket. First is for row, and for each row it will print the column value. Okay, now how we have written here also. Okay, so for this convenience you are writing in this way. Okay, but while taking the input also you can use scanner class, scanner object to get the input and take the input to the two-dimensional array. Now how do you represent this? You can use the 2 nested loop. First one is for row and second one is for column. Okay, 2 nested loop, and then I have printed this the index value of two-dimensional is 2 square bracket format, 1 arrow, and next one is column. Okay, so this is a very basic example. Now next question was how can I print this format? Okay, so let us see. Pascal triangle. So first row will contain each row, it will print. Let us see the pattern first, then we will go to the this is row. Okay, so this is this pattern I want to print inside my console. So how can you do this? Is there any concept for this two-dimensional array or anything? Okay, you can visualize. Okay, this is a two-dimensional array. How? Okay, so before that let us see. So now let us visualize how to represent this one. First row is row 1. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So these are row value. Row means line. Each line number. 0th line, how many star you want to print? 1 star. Second line, or the first row or first line, this is the index, okay, of the row. 2 star. Next is 3 star, and third is 4 star. Okay, you can see for each row we want to print the star. How many star? If row value is I, How many star you want to print? I plus 1. So for each line or row, this is ith row, you want to print how many stars? I plus 1 star I want to print. Okay, so now see this way. So first you need a one loop for row, and you another for loop for printing the how many star, the column value. These are the column value, right? Okay, so the column value you want to print star. So this is for column. So how many columns you want to print? I plus 1. That is the value of row. That will be, it will printed row plus 1. Now this you take it as exercise, okay, and you try to do this and show it on your ID. Okay, this will be look very this will look very difficult for first time, but you try to do. Okay, other concept I can show you. Okay, so now you should know why you are using two nested loop. One is for row or I value, and another for column value, just printing this star. Okay, so you should try this, then we will discuss. Okay, now another scenario. Okay, let me make you understand. This is the one case. This is one way you can do. Another way, I have printed a matrix of 4 cross 4 star. This is you just use two-dimensional array and you populate or set the data or print this data. I will tell you this one, then you will come to know. Okay, you first print this one. Okay, so now what you will do, you print this one, this is 4 cross 4. So what is the column value and what is the row value? Row will be 4 and column will be 4. Okay, now you try to erase this one. Okay, this almost look like a Pascal triangle, but not exactly what we have seen. The idea is, you can see in place of my first row, this is my row 1 or row 0, index 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now you can see there will be 1 star, in the first row there will be 2 star, and then second will be 3 star, and finally there will be 4 star. So each row will contain row plus 1 number of star. Okay, so you try to print in this way, in two-dimensional array, so that you can print this way. Now try out this one. Okay, so this is my This is my 0 column, this is my 1, this is my second, and this is my third column. So this is for purpose, right? And here will print blank, will print blank. Here star, then blank. You print star, blank, star, star, then blank, then star, then blank, blank, blank. Blank, star, 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 and final, in the final row you will put all the stars. Now try to run this. Okay, so this will give you a not a Pascal triangle, but exactly it will store the row plus 1 number of star. Okay, this is another approach to show you how you print this pattern. Okay, and similar type of question will come. So why do you need 2 loops or 2-dimensional matrix? Okay, whenever you come 2-dimensional matrix, for 1-dimensional matrix 1D, you will use a 1-4 loop. These are very simple concept for programming. And for 2-dimensional, you need 2-4 loop, 2-4 loop, and that too not individual loop, they are nested loop. So one loop will be inside another loop, nested loop. Okay, for that reason we need a nested loop. Now are you getting why do you need nested for loop or nested loop? And what is about multi-dimensional array, 2-dimensional array? Okay, we'll stop here. You try this out, and these are very easy to do when you understand this thing. Okay, try out something at your end. Initially there will be some error, or you will stuck at point, but try to ask and try it out yourself also. And once you understand this will be very fun to do this program. Okay, anything, 1-dimensional array or 2-dimensional array. Now another question I will give. This is about 2-dimensional array. Now in an array, you will be some numbers. So 3, 5, 1, 7, 8. Okay. Now I want to know int key value. I want to search a particular value, suppose 1, and I want to know at which index of A this key value is there. So this is like a searching of a element. Search an element, search a key inside an array. Okay, so I want to search 1 or 5. So how do you do this? So this is a question. You try it out at your end. And another thing, that suppose this array is given 3, 5, 1, 7, 8, but finally I want a sorted array. Yesterday we have seen a sorted string. You can use directly Java util class, array class, and you can apply sort method. But instead of using sort method, can you write a logic, okay, or a program? You are giving a unsorted array. Unsorted array means a random array. Okay, like this 3, 5, 1, 7, and the final output will be an array which will have sorted array 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. So how do you do this? These are the two basic concepts. Almost all program will be short and short. Okay, now try to, already we have covered one dimensional array, two dimensional array also. Okay, you know almost other concept like if, else, and other loop structure also. Okay, and data types already covered. So can you try out this thing? How do you search an element in an array, and another is sort an element in a one dimensional array. Then we will see this can be done in two dimensional array, and what are the other operations we can do using two dimensional. So these are the two questions you try to cover. Okay, you try to do, then we will see in the next class.